Okay, good morning everyone. So the Ftse has came down into these sort of 6,000 levels now. Really, as identified a few weeks ago, we've seen this head and shoulders pattern which has been forming, which is suggesting there's going to be some weakness in this market. However, these levels down here, they're very key, and until these start to break, I'm happy to look down here for bounces. Coming on to the 5 minute time frame for today, my two preferred trades this morning really are going to be a bounce from here or potentially a bounce from here. A bounce from here, clearly it's going to go straight into my next level of which would be resistance, so I'd have to manage this one quite tightly. We've already fallen down pre-market. I'm hoping we come down a little bit further into these levels. That would be where I would like to get in. The other thing to go over really is, now that we're getting closer to the referendum, I'm going to keep mentioning it, the market is likely going to get more unpredictable and have wilder swings. For that reason, I'll be being more cautious. If I come in to trade in the morning and the market opens and suddenly we spike 50 points at the 8 o'clock open, I'll just step back and leave trading for the day. For the sake of a couple of weeks, which is going to be this EU referendum, it's a once in a generation thing. I'm not willing to lose a large amount of capital just so I can take a trade, basically. But this morning, that's what I'm really watching for. If we can get down here, I'm more than happy to get into this market. I'm looking for a bounce up. And really, until this market comes through the 6,000 level, really S2 today, until we start seeing this market coming through here, I'm more than happy to look for buy positions. Through here, as mentioned in the Sunday review video, really we're opening this market up for at least 100 points coming off, more likely 200 at a minimum. It would tie in with the referendum. Coming through here would definitely show quite a bit of weakness in the Ftse. Okay guys, so going to see what happens this morning. Just because those are my preferred trades, it does not mean they're going to come in. Just have to watch price action, see what it does, and allow the market to do what it wants to do, and then I have to trade around that. That's basically what trading is. Okay, so the market has opened. It's really dropped down very, very strongly. All I've done is gotten in at the bottom zone. I'm going to manage this quite tightly because we are down at key levels here. If we start smashing through here, we have S2 as support, which is really the main area for me to be watching. If we come through here, it's very, very negative for the Ftse. I was expecting some sort of a bounce off of these levels, so now I'm just watching it. It's against the flow of the market. The market currently is negative. For that reason, I'm looking for 10, 15 points out of this, unless it starts rallying very, very quickly. So I'm just watching it to see what happens. And there's not really a lot more to say about the trade. What I will say though, guys, is it's very difficult for a lot of people to buy into a market that's dropping down, or to sell into a market that's rallying up. But I mean, if your trade makes sense, if your analysis makes sense, your risk management should always be the same. You're only going to risk your 1% or your 2% or whatever it is you're risking. As long as your analysis is good and as long as your trade is good and ties in with that, then you should have no problem getting into the market. And all I'm doing now, guys, is watching the candle, watching how it's reacting as it's moving. I'll probably close this out. If we get to 20 points, I'll take that as as a trade. You know, that's a 1-to-1. Okay, and there we go. It's not exactly what I was expecting to happen. I wasn't expecting the market to drop down as strongly as that. You need to be a little bit reactive when you're trading. Let the market tell you what to do. I had identified these as very strong levels for looking for a bounce. So although the market opened very negative and plummeted down like this, it plummeted down into the key level. It came through the key level. I waited for the market to retrace back up. As soon as it got up to this level here, I was happy to buy. You can see, you know, I've got out up here somewhere, 1-to-1. I'm more than happy to take that for the day. Okay, so I'll come back at 4:30. We'll have a look at the Ftse and go over what it did for the rest of the day. All the zone traders, I'll take you through the potential trades. But the key thing really moving forward now, guys, is, you know, just show a little bit more caution coming up to the EU referendum. Okay, we're just coming up to 4:30. Let's have a look at the Ftse. First thing we can see is the market has came through this key level down here, which is really the sort of 6,010 area, and we've continued to have a very strong down day. The sell-off now from up here has really had no pause whatsoever, and it's dropped off 370 points. The potential for this was identified a few weeks ago in the possible head and shoulders pattern. Went over it when we seen this price action stalling here. It's then pushed up and collapsed all the way down again. So the head and shoulders pattern gave it away, as well as the fact that we're coming up into the EU referendum, especially with the polls coming out suggesting that Brexit is definitely on the cards. This morning, what I was looking for really was a buy from these levels down here up into sort of the 6,035 levels. It didn't come in. It took a blind buy from down here as the market dropped down and popped back up. That was the position I took. Then the market rolled over and sold off very, very strongly once again. As soon as you see this, zone trader guys, you're really looking for confirmation before you get into trades after this. What else is there to go over up here? We tried to push up, the market then fell away. You get a pin bar down here, but what you can see once again is as the market pushes up, it tries to get into the zone above, it rejects again. We then get a doji candle, which rejects, and once again, the market falls away and it collapses all the way down. We get some stalling price action. The American markets open, which has been happening a lot recently. The American markets have tried to push the Ftse up. It's failed miserably, and down we have came. Really, there's not, I'm just double checking, there's not any trades for today to go over, and they all should have been ignored, really. This one, potentially, but for me, as soon as you start seeing the rejection, as it's trying to reach up into the other zone, it's an instant exit from your trade. We push up, we sell off very strongly down into our zone, which means wait for confirmation, guys. The market doesn't give it. It then rolls over, collapses down. This would have been a very good position to get into if it had managed to just get up a little bit higher and produce a sell signal. It just didn't do it today. Sometimes that happens when you're trading. You know, the market doesn't really care what we're trying to do. It just does what it does, and we position ourselves the best way possible to get into the high probability trades. All I said to subscribers this morning was we're looking for the buys down here. I wasn't confident enough to give them the blind buy, unfortunately, just because I needed to see price action before I was confident enough to take it. I wasn't expecting the sell-off to come straight away as strong as it did and then pop back up. Okay guys, so hopefully that was helpful. The vlog that I've been talking about and that a couple of you have asked for, that is coming probably at the end of this week. Apart from that, I hope you all have a good trading week, and I will see you next week.